I'd like to introduce Professor Michael Toolan. Michael Toolan is Professor of English Language and Head of Department in the Department of English at the University of Birmingham. His research interests include stylistics, language in the law, and narrative analysis. Among his many books are Language Teaching, Integrational Linguistic Approaches, Critical Discourse Analysis, Critical Concepts in Linguistics, The Writer's Craft, The Culture's Technology, edited with Carmen Rosa Caldas-Coltard, and Narrative, A Critical Linguistic Introduction. So please welcome Professor Michael Toolan.
Thank you very much, Rodney, for that very nice introduction. Let me see if I can find the right file. Great pleasure to be here, and I'm very glad to be part of this intriguing and stimulating roundtable. I'm going to start by reading and then hopefully stop reading and just work with the slides. But to start with the text, I've been asked to talk on the small matter of literary creativity. Should I be taxonomic and try to situate that creativity, which is specifically literary, among all the other kinds of creativity that surround us? Where would I locate literary creativity in relation to creativity in gardening, or hairstyling, architecture, swimming strokes, and table manners? The project sounds faintly ludicrous, but my task is not that wide, you point out. There are twin poles already in place holding up the tent of this 3-day conversation, or there are 2 legs supporting our round table, to which I am supposed to bring a third, a necessary third. The 2 poles are discourse and creativity, and to these I am to join a third, the literary. In Robert Brinkhurst's abstract for his talk, he notes that many people continue to call the universe all creation, and certainly the many forms and senses of the lemma create and its derivatives, creature, creation, creative, recreation, procreation, can stimulate much thinking. It's a pretty fecund word tree. With my procreative roots, I'm fond of some of the Irish uses of a word like creature. In parts of rural Ireland, at least until very recently, and the metamorphosis of the old sow that eats her farrow, as she was described in Joyce's portrait, into a Celtic tiger, sadly now a tiger with thin ribs, the word creature was pronounced crater, as in Shakespeare's English, or creature, and was a familiar term to denote any kind of individual, good or bad. A miserable old creature, a gentle, generous creature, and so on. The idea of creatures and of humans as among God's creatures runs deep in Irish culture, possibly deeper than in any other ethnicity around the world that lives and thinks through English and the English word creature. The last short story of the late great Irish writer John McGahern is called Creatures of the Earth. It is a very dark story in which a lonesome creature called Mrs. Waldron looks back on her life with her doctor husband, who is now dead, a man whose life was devoted to healing human creatures when he could. Living in retirement now on an island off the west coast, she tries to make friends with a strangely feral old man. This man owns a dog, and she's as fond of the dog as much as the man. But the man is suspicious and competitive in their brief social encounters. In fact, there's something brutal and sociopathic about him. Towards the end of the story, when Mrs. Waldron meets him one last time, he is without his dog. So she asks him where the dog is. The man offhandedly explains that the dog wouldn't obey commands, so he threw him over the cliff. That is his creative solution to his creature problem. This casual cruelty chills Mrs. Waldron, who cannot protest or respond, but it is implied simply suffers this disclosure. But more darkly yet, maybe I should go forward now.